Hello everybody, it's Dr. Debbie Guy-Geesh and welcome to the Revenue Marketer blog. Now, I've been doing these for a little bit now and my marketing team keeps telling me I've got to have shorter content. They want something that's 3 or 4 minutes. So I'll give you a warning in advance. This is not a short blog. This is probably going to be about 10 minutes. I just can't help myself. I have a lot of stories that I want to tell you in this blog, so you're warned. We'll be on together for about 10 minutes. So, the name of today's blog is How Digital Transformation Drives the Revenue Marketing Journey. And so, if you know me, you know that I talk about revenue marketing and I talk about the revenue marketing journey that marketers take. It's just a 4-stage maturity model. And so, what I'd like to do is to tell you the story of the revenue marketing journey, give you a working definition, for digital transformation, and then tie those things together so that you can get a sense for where you are today and where you need to go. Ready? Okay, let's go. So I think I began using the term revenue marketing in 2010. And then in 2011, I was invited to be part of a 14-city roadshow for the Marketo Rockstar Roadshow. And I was the first speaker in all of those cities. And so, like I always do, I was preparing last minute. I can't help it. And I was actually in a hotel room in Austin, Texas. And I'd been thinking about, this whole notion of revenue marketing, and I'd been thinking about, there's this maturity or this evolution that takes place within marketing, and should I talk about that? So I decided what better place to test some new IP than at a 14-city speaking tour. So that night I did those stupid little, chevrons from clip art, and I created the model and I called this 4 stages: traditional, lead generation, demand generation, and revenue marketing. And I will have to say that absolute magic happened. The speaker after me heard what I had to say, and then he referenced those 4 stages. In addition, when marketers came up to me after, the 3 speakers were finished, they would say, "Debbie, we're in the lead gen stage. We want to go to demand gen stage." So I knew that that 4-stage model really struck a chord. And since then, I have shown it to thousands of marketers across the globe. So that 4-stage revenue marketing journey really makes a lot of sense. And we're going to go into detail on it in just a moment. But revenue marketing today is really about how do you transform marketing from being the pens and mugs department to a revenue engine that is repeatable, predictable, and scalable, and that also drives customer centricity. It's a big new world for marketers, and those are 3, if you include digital transformation, enormous challenges for marketers. So let me give you a working definition of digital transformation, and then I'll show you how those 2 things fit together, the revenue marketing journey and the digital transformation. So I think a great working definition for digital transformation is it's the innovative use of technologies that helps marketing address traditional and non-traditional business challenges. And again, so much of our world today is not anything that we were taught in school. So there's a lot of non-traditional challenges that we face as marketers, showing financial accountability, being digital, and also leading customer centricity. So what I'd like to do is, we've got a working definition of digital transformation, and I've kind of given you the very high level of what the revenue marketing journey is about. So let me tie those 2 things together for you. And the way I'm going to do that is we have on the screen the 4 stages of the revenue marketing journey, and I have it in a little bit more detail so we can talk about it. So let's talk about each of these stages. And as I go through this, you let me know, or think about where you are and where you need to be. So again, the 4 stages of the revenue marketing journey are traditional, lead generation, demand generation, and revenue marketing. Now, the way I'm going to talk about the model is I'm going to talk about the role that digital transformation plays in each of these stages. So let's talk about traditional. And again, there's no, bad or good. It's just, wherever you are. So traditional really is more what we were taught in college. It's really the 4 Ps. This is where marketing is the brand and the communications department. And that's fine. There's no problem with that. Except for today, that is not all marketing can be. And typically what we see in an organization that is still has traditional marketing and nothing else, digital transformation is really not going to be very much of a buzzword. So if we think about the history of technology and marketing, some years ago, marketing began to get their hands on email systems. And once they began to get their hands on email systems and began to send out all these emails, they entered into what we call the lead generation stage. Now, this phase was characterized by marketing's first really progressive use of technology, even though quite often the way they used the technology did not produce results. Let's just put it that way. Could they get emails out cheaper? Yes, they could. Could they get a lot of emails out cheaper? Yes, they could. And did they do that? Yes, they did. However, the result was not quite what they wanted. They thought that sending leads over to sales, leads would follow up, and then marketing would have some kind of, revenue attribution. It just did not work like that, and there are many reasons why. Number one, just because they had the email technology did not mean that they had the key processes and the collaborative framework required to make that successful. This was in the very early days of digital transformation. This is when digital transformation was really more about efficiency, like how many, how much, how fast, and how low can I get out. So things really began to change. The market started to change. We really entered into more of the customer engagement economy. And so when we take a look at the third stage, which is demand generation, it's really characterized by systems architecture that is integrated, it's tight-knit, it is optimized. Marketing is now fulfilling at least one, if not two, of the big challenges. That responsibility for lead production is now turned into responsibility for revenue production and revenue accountability. They have a great working relationship with sales at this point, or at least they begin to have that in that demand generation. And so from a digital transformation perspective, and again, if you think about the definition, innovative use of technologies to address business challenges, and certainly revenue is a huge business challenge for many organizations. Marketing was really in the right place for that. This is when you began to see a plethora of technologies. I think the average number of technologies used, they say, is somewhere between 7 and 20. I personally think it's higher just based on the people that I see, but it's somewhere between 7 to 20. So digital transformation, again, the innovative use of technology to drive a business result is very, very much apparent in the demand gen stage. And I almost want to take demand gen and kind of put it into, sub phases. There was this first phase where you get the technology and you begin to be effective and you begin to drive a revenue and a growth result. But then there was a kind of like an add-on to that stage. And the add-on to that stage was a few years ago, companies decided, wow, we need to be customer centric. And so let's let marketing lead that because, they're already kind of talking to customers and they should know our customers. And so in addition to driving revenue, marketers were now being held accountable for, those interactions with the customers and optimizing those customer engagement points so that, again, they keep the customers longer and it actually leads to digital engagement. And so once you add that second part, if you think about the innovative use of technology to drive a business result, digital transformation got even more sophisticated in that demand generation stage. And of course, the ultimate stage, is kind of like the place you always want to be is in revenue marketing. And in the revenue marketing model, it is all about being repeatable, predictable, and scalable. And in the revenue marketing stage, the CMO reports on the financial metrics and the customer engagement metrics and the customer retention metrics that they achieved last quarter, but they also forecast their impact on all of those metrics in the upcoming quarter. So it's a very, very different game. So that's a little bit my thoughts around how digital transformation really has helped inform the stages of the revenue marketing journey. And I'd love to hear where you are. Are you in traditional or lead generation or demand generation, or are you a revenue marketer? And as a consequence of that stage, how is your digital transformation coming along? So email me, excuse me, at Debbie@Pedowitz.com or send me a message through LinkedIn. I would love to hear from you. Remember, it is a great day to be a revenue marketer, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.